Greetings, fellow speculators. So I've been doing some more research on a little prospect generator that's new to the scene called Arena Minerals. If we go to Arena Minerals website, they've got a news releases. They're looking for copper gold in northern Chile. And if we look back through their news releases, they've got a news release January 7th, Arena Minerals Strategic Shift to Prospect Generator Model. That's what I like to see. They've got projects that they've come up with and they don't have the money to keep working them. Let's get someone else to work them. Lots of times a strategy shift like that can mean a share price shift too. So started watching this thing, not close enough, but they put out a news release February 23rd, 2015. They signed a deal with B2 Gold to option one of their projects. And so if we go to their presentations, they have a presentation on this new option agreement that they signed with B2 Gold. And I'll try to go through this quite fast, a bunch of legal jargon. Arena Minerals overview. They're saying they got all these projects in northern Chile. Northern Chile is a great place to work, and they've got this deal with B2 Gold. So let's drill into that. It's your capital structure. It's a little stale in that slide. They've got assets in Chile, Chile-focused asset base. They keep saying that. They're trying to say they're at low elevation in Chile. They're not way up in the Andes Mountains like lots of these Chilean projects that you hear about. I mean, they're close to roads and ports and places to actually bring one of these projects into production. You don't have to build everything and start fresh. So they're close to this highly prospective area where they've got these other mining operations, and there's a bunch of target areas, prospects there, more technical. But then they get into the agreement. This is where I'm more interested. B2 Gold going to earn up to 60% interest in this project in 2 stages. And so how are the stages? They start breaking down the phases. Okay, here they call them phases. Phase 1 on signing $50,000. So that's already happened. They should have $50,000. Remember that, $50,000. We'll look at their finances. We'll add that to their finances. July 26, 2015. They've got to pay. They've got to do $1 million worth of work. B2 Gold has to do $1 million worth of work on the property before then, and they've got to pay $180,000 to SQM. That's a big Chilean mining company that's the underlying owner of the property. By December 1st, 2015, they've got to pay $150,000. B2 Gold has to pay $150,000 to Arena. Then another year from there, or July 26, 2016, they got to pay $800,000 to Arena, another $150,000 to SQM. They've got to have $1.5 million in work done by then, and it keeps stepping up from there. So these dollars start adding up over time. And they're saying in phase 2, after they pay all these bills, if they don't make it all the way, the project goes back to Arena, and they could try to option it to someone else. But if B2 Gold makes it through all these payments, does the $5 million in work and $600,000 to SQM and $2.5 million to Arena, they get 50% of the project. That's valuing the project quite nicely to Arena, who gets a free ride on all of that. They get paid for it, actually. Phase 2, B2 Gold has to incur an additional $15 million in work commitments by August 1st, 2020. So this is going further out into the future. If the project keeps progressing, is looking good, B2 Gold has to keep putting money into it to get an extra 10%. Take them from 50% to 60%. So these are some good dollar commitments that B2 Gold is signing up to in a down market. This must be something they see in this property. So here's another breakdown of what's happening. There's commitment dollars and stuff. B2 option benefits of the deal. They go into the deal more and more and more, and they've got technical details, kind of advertisements of their other properties that they'd like to joint venture off to other companies. If they could find some other companies to put up money to work these ones, they'd like to do that too. So they've got a list of those projects. I'm not going to take you through the minutia of those projects. So let's go back to their news releases. They don't put it on their website, but if we go to cedar.com, there's a news release in there that Ross Beate is buying stock. Ross Beate is a well-known, now a speculator in the sector, but he's made his name off of copper companies that have flown in the past and numerous companies, a bunch of penny stocks that he's been highly involved in growing and building and bringing to life. He's quite the researcher and entrepreneur in the sector. Has made a lot of shareholders a lot of money that have followed in his footsteps. So he's someone to take note of in our sector. So here it is, Ross J. Beate of Vancouver. He's buying stock. Acquired ownership 9 million units, and that's it. And he did this financing. He got 2-year warrants at 15 cents. So Arena announced this financing, and it was at 10 cents per unit, 10 cents Canadian per unit, and they were trying to raise $1.5 million. I believe they got the $1.5 million. If we look at their financials, remember they got, since these financials have been struck, they got the $1.5 million from the financing and $50,000 from B2 Gold. So $1,550,000, if that makes sense. Add that to their cash balance and subtract what they've been spending. We'll see what they're at. So their cash balance is like $500,000. So if we add the let's call it $2,060,000. We'll round off a little bit. $2,060,000 cash. We'll skip the receivables. Liabilities, let's take that out. Let's drop it back to $1,700,000. $1,700,000 if we strip out the accounts payable. So theoretically what they'd have in cash, and then I look at what they're spending, because this is as of the end of 2014 and we're in May, so it's a couple months into it. If we look at all these expenses, these are all, besides the share-based stuff, cash expenses. So 900 minus is 800,000. Let's say 800,000 divided by 12, 66 grand a month roughly, plus the shares they printed up to keep people around. They're spending about 66 grand a month. So if we take that, like they're spending the same thing, and we're in May, let's times that by 5 to get 330 grand. They've still got $1 million, what is that, 4 in cash. They've still got a good lifespan to them. This is a relatively cheaper run company. They're not spending over $100,000 or $600,000 like some of these little penny stocks do a month. I mean, $60-something thousand a month is, I mean, look at this. They're coming out, even with the stock in there, less than $1 million a year to run a publicly listed company. This is a it's not the floor basement cheapest one around, but they're doing a really good job of keeping costs under control. And I bet you that's a big aspect of Ross Beate looking at this thing, saying, hey, these guys aren't just taking all the money out that I put in for themselves. It's more conservatively run. So they're keeping track of their books. They landed a all-star shareholder. They got a partner that's putting up a whack load of money. So what's going on with the price of this company? Remember, this financing was done at 10 cents. There's warrants at 15 cents. If we go back to the exchange, we can see the price and the market cap and stuff. And I'm not sure if this market cap is after the financing. I'm going to guess it's after the financing. $15 million market cap. It's like 10% of that is backed by cash. 90% is hot air, speculative premium. What was the share price? 20 cents. So So it's trading at double, 20 cents right now, and the financing they just did was at 10 cents. I think that's the Ross Beate's name. People are following Ross Beate and running the price up. Ross Beate's buying shares, they want to buy shares. So that's Ross Beate action happening. I bet you if we looked at this share price jump and lined it up with a Ross Beate news release and deals and stuff, it'd probably line right up. So behind the ball on that one, but still nice to see those deals happening. And who's buying stock, and that this company is out there, and then maybe later on in the future the share price comes back down, or people get bored, or they forget that Ross Beate's involved, or some other third outside of the company event happens that drops their share price across the markets or this area or something, and we can take a swing at it on the cheap. But for now, I think it's a good one to study and watch. Arena Minerals, AN on Toronto Stock Exchange Venture Board. Just a little one that's seems expensive to me, but I think one that's definitely worth watching. If you're interested in Arena Minerals or other ones like them following that same strategy, I'd recommend first you go to Arena Minerals website and sign up to their news releases, but second, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll give you video updates like this over time on Arena and others like them. Thanks for listening.